Pugh. That'll do it! That will do it! Pugh for Bournemouth! The roof of the Gold Sands is raised! Everyone here knows what that could mean to this football.
The wheels on the bus fall off. Well, it feels like it. It wasn't a great performance, was it? Another poor performance from Cherries. All this possession, yet we hardly mustered any shots. Fair play to Stoke. Thought they were really good. Clinical when it mattered. 3 bodies on the line. And I thought that they fully deserve the points. And as a result of what we've just witnessed, we're now playing Brentford. We've discussed it before. And we've said, we don't want to play Brentford over 2 legs. We'd rather play them in a one-off. That's not happening now. We start at our place. We needed momentum. We didn't get it. We switched the team up against Wickham to give players a rest. And it seems that squad mentality in total has taken a rest, not just the individuals. And we are where we are now with an uphill challenge. Do we deserve promotion? No. Should we get promotion? No. But the playoffs are a lottery. We finished a long way behind Brentford, 10 points, only 7 ahead of Reading. Going to be a really interesting time, and we'll be covering it, of course, on Back of the Net. And tell you what, the watch-along was hard work, and myself and Tom ploughed through it. And if you want to take part today, you can have your say by going to afcbpodcast.com/take part on your device, whether it's a phone, laptop, iPad, whatever. Plug your headphones into your device. And then wait your turn, and I'll bring you in as soon as possible. First person I'm going to bring in is Morgan Scott today, and I don't know whether he's happy, don't know whether he's sad. Probably not happy with that performance, mate, I'm guessing. Can't hear you, buddy. Can't hear you, mate. You may just need to restart. So what I'll do for the meantime is bring in Daniel, and hopefully I will be able to hear you okay. Daniel, are you all right, buddy?
Hello? Can you hear me?
All good, mate. All good. Analyse that then, mate. Nice to see you wearing the Back of the Net uniform tonight by wearing the same shirt. Daniel, thoughts after that, mate?
It was pretty disappointing that we lost, but I had a feeling we were going to struggle. We struggle against the mid-league teams, and that's why I kind of disagree with you with the Premier League. The Premier League has greater teams, and I feel like we can fit in because somehow we perform better with the bigger teams. And that's the only reason I feel like if we do go up, we will stay up, because one day we can play Manchester City. We destroy them 3-0. I don't know. But it was very, very weird, kind of disappointing. But I feel like we should still keep our heads up, and we should not be unpositive, because if we do that, then we're probably not even going to win the playoffs. If we keep it positive, we're make the players more happier to try to work their best in the playoffs.
I appreciate the fact that you're trying to be positive. I just feel as though after the 2 performances that we've seen against Wickham, relegated Wickham, and Stoke City, where they are in the league, it's a worry that we're just not even creating the chances for me. And it's a mentality thing. I swear it. I want to hear what some other people have to say. So what I'm going to do is bring in Aaron as well. Aaron, you right, mate?
I won't be wearing this shirt again for the playoff, that's for sure.
Oh my God, we also got Andrew Roper here as well. Andrew, how you doing, mate? You right?
Yeah, well, thanks. Hi, Ted. Hi, guys.
Oh yeah, Aaron, talk to me, mate. I mean, what did you just witness?
Well, I mean, I said before the Brentford game, actually, I said these 3 games are like treading water, and they weren't good for anybody because we had the momentum. We knew we were in it. Yes, it was playing for positions and who you play for, etc. But ultimately, the players in their heads knew that these games meant nothing, which is testament to 3 games to go getting in the playoffs, to be fair. So I wasn't looking forward to any of them. Obviously, I watched them all. And I agreed with the decision last week. I agreed with his decisions to play the first team this week. And I think it was very obvious that they were rusty today, which is a reason to play them, I guess. It seemed to me that, and I'd like to think this is the case, that they weren't at full tilt in their heads. So I think it was a case of Woodgate knowing that he wanted to play them to get them a bit, sharp again and play together for the first time in 3 weeks, which it looked like they had. So it really looked like it was the first time they played together for a few weeks, and luckily, and don't get any injuries. So perhaps they weren't going at full pelt. I'd like to think that was the case. So, and that's how it seemed. We were strolling around the pitch. I mean, David Brooks literally looked like someone who won a raffle last week to play in the end of in the season. At the end of the season, he was just, I'm one of his biggest fans. Shocking, not just poor, shocking. I don't know what he was even on. As soon as Riquelme came on, he actually looked like he wanted to go forward. Danjuma was poor, but at least Arnie tried to beat players, tried to do something. Brooks was just giving us absolutely nothing. There's not one player on that pitch that I would say, you can give man of the match to or anything. It was just nothing, and it's flat. And we would look so rusty, and I guess it was to be expected because they hadn't played for a few weeks. Momentum has obviously gone. It doesn't always matter in the playoffs if you go in with momentum. It's proven in past years, so it's difficult to know. I mean, we all wanted to play Swansea. We're now playing Brentford purely down to us getting 3 defeats in a row, 3 blanks in a row as well, which is really worrying. I don't know if that's happened at all this season. We haven't scored for 3 games now, which is also a worry. And Brentford are clearly on form. The only positive I would say, and this is literally the only positive, is I didn't want to play Brentford, but if we do beat Brentford over 2 legs, and I really would fancy us in the final against Swansea or Barnsley at Wembley. So that's the only positive. And try and latch onto Kirk's theory, which I didn't agree with, but we have no choice now, that over 180 minutes, if we can't beat Brentford over 180 minutes, we don't deserve it. So if there's a bit of bad luck in one game, we got another game to make up for it. So if we're good enough, we'll beat them over 2 legs. Yeah. So let's see.
I think you're right in that over 180 minutes, the team that deserves to win will probably win. Whereas you can fluke a win over 90 minutes, and we can't do that now. So if we do actually deserve it, then we will prevail. But we could get found out over 2 legs. We don't know. But Andrew, not great today.
I'm okay with the sort of the playing Brentford things. I think we tend to raise our game, as you said on the watch along, Sam, Tom. Norwich, Watford. We haven't lost them this season. Okay, we lost to Brentford, but I do think we tend to raise our game against the better side. So I'm quite comfortable with Brentford, because my fear was, and we were all saying it, I hope we get Swansea. Well, if we go into it thinking like that, we may not raise our game, and Swansea might surprise us. Whereas we've got to raise our game for Brentford, otherwise they'll beat us there. They're a better team than us. They've got more points than us. We've got to play good football, which we can do. We've got a very good team. Didn't play well today, but I think today we were. It's a practice match, as Aaron said. There were 3 difficult games. There was nothing in it for us. We weren't 100%. Were we going in for the tackles? Not really. Didn't want to get injured. Nobody had a good game. Nobody was on it. Riquelme did well when he came on. I thought he staked his claim. I'd give him some game time. I'd play him instead of Brooks. I agree, Aaron. I think Brooks has been poor. Give Riquelme, with his pace, he did frighten them, I thought, second half. And I thought Kelly down the left got through a couple of times and put in some nice crosses. But again, lack of poacher. We didn't really have anybody in there. I think Billing had been sort of brought back when Pearson went off. So, poor game. Another £10 wasted. But I'm okay about Brentford. I'm okay with that, because I think we, if we beat them, then we deserve to get to the final. But I think we'll be okay. I think we'll have enough for Brentford if we play to our potential.
Very true. Daniel, I mean, a lot of people are talking about Riquelme, saying that he's done very well whenever he's been utilised recently. Is he at a point where we could start him over Brooks or maybe Stanislas? I mean, Stanislas probably injured, but I mean, over David Brooks then?
He deserves it.
I was thinking about that, but the way Rico plays, I feel like he can't survive the full 90. And I think when Wickham, he played well, but he didn't really play for the full time. So I feel like he's a player we should put on straight away after the half ends, because I feel like if he plays for the full 90, he doesn't really perform. But there's a game I always remember when we say his name, Derby. He went on, he scored. I feel like he's just a player we put on the second half, and then he could try to win us the game, or at least try to score.
I think what this match has maybe done is put Jonathan Woodgate in a position whereby he's possibly like thinking twice about certain positions, Aaron, which is what we didn't want. For instance, right back, Smith or Stacey's always the dilemma, and obviously that right side as well, a bit further up the pitch. We wanted to go into this match against whoever the opponents were with no questions, and we've now got more questions.
Yeah, I still think he'll go with that 11. I'd be amazed if he doesn't. Brooks doesn't deserve to be in the team. Stan's injured, but I think he'll definitely go with that 11. Stacey was bright when he came on. He got forward better than Smudge did as well. But for me, there's not much between those two. I think he'll go with his team. Again, I'll be interested to hear his interview. I'd love to be a fly on the wall in the dressing room because I want some sort of comfort. If he's sort of saying to me, fine, you didn't put it all in, which is what I wanted, then that's fine, because they clearly didn't. And I've no doubt that there'll be completely a different mindset against Brentford, which is what I'm clinging on to. I just worry that it's the confidence. That's the thing, and confidence is so important in football. And if the players are coming off, still confident, and there's this, they were told to do certain things today or not push it too hard, then fine. But Brentford are going to be very confident, but I think that could also work against them. They've won 4 in a row. They've beaten us twice. What a time for us to beat them. And as Andrew said, I don't fear Brentford. We can play teams in the Premier League and get results against them. So I don't fear Brentford. And Brentford have got a bottle job hanging over their heads. And I think that's going to be tricky for them. I think that the home game is going to be very difficult. I think Brentford will really try and frustrate us. And try and take us level going back there. But so I actually personally think we'll do better away from home at Griffin Park, whatever it is these days.
Yeah.
I just think we've got to draw a line under it. We've got 9 days now. I do feel flat, a bit deflated, but I think the last 3 games were always going to be like that. I just think we wish we'd have won one of them and today, and we all felt we'd be comfortable and we'd play Swansea, whether it's home or away, but it wasn't to be.
It wasn't to be. Brentford in their match today, Andrew, had 74% possession, 15 shots, 5 on target. We had a similar amount of possession, but only mustered 1 shot on target. It's the fear that we could get a pasting against them.
Oh, I don't think we will, though. Yes. I don't think we will. I think we will raise our game. I think we're a good side. We mustn't forget that. Even the home game, Stan doesn't slip over, takes that chance. We go 1-0 up. It's always small margins, those big games. We could have won it 1-0 or drawn 1-0. I think we'll be okay at home. I think we'll probably draw at home. Is that the home match is first, right? I think, isn't it? Because we finished below them, which is good. And will fans be allowed in? Do we know yet if fans can be in?
Not as far as I know. Thankfully, we don't have the equation to worry about what Swansea are doing because we're not going to be
that's true.
Playing them. But not too sure at this stage. Definitely at Wembley there will be, but not.
Yeah, but it was a worry today that we didn't create much. We haven't scored for 3 games, right? That is a worry. Did we look like scoring today? There was that one, the goal we saved with his leg from, was it Jack? No, it wasn't Jack. Somebody.
Dom Solanke came in.
Dom Solanke,
and, and he, there was a lot of the goal to aim at, but he was coming around the side of the defender, so he could only get on what he could. And the keeper was, the keeper was trying to get across. Unfortunately, it went straight into his path. So
I think the worry is that you saw with Danjuma, there were 2 guys on him, and that obviously teams have learned. You get on Danjuma, you can nullify Bournemouth. But I was pleased to see Kelly overlapping and putting in at least 2 good crosses from Kelly that we probably should have scored from, really. So but it's a worry we've not scored. We're not scoring freely. I think they showed a stat at the start of the game. We scored 40 goals at home. I think only Brentford got more, 42 at home. So, but we've not scored in the last 2 home games. So it's a worry for sure.
The issue is as well, because Brooks isn't playing well on the right, that they're not having to, that they are able to double up on Danjuma because there's no threat on the right-hand side. And also Dom, as we've said before, if he drops deep, he's totally isolated. And again, with Brentford have 3 centre-backs, so they can afford to double up really on the wingers. So Jonathan Wilgett's going to have to work this out. He's obviously played them recently, but my worry, as Andrew said, is winning's a habit, and we've seen this 11 win 7 games in a row, albeit against not great opposition. But Stoke had nothing to play for today. Stoke have been on bottom 3 form since Christmas. And he really shouldn't have struggled, even if he weren't at full tilt. And it's worrying we hardly had any shots on target, haven't scored, and just didn't seem to be that those partnerships which had actually gelled. So whether It's difficult to know whether we should have carried on that strong team. I guess time will tell. If we lose to Brentford in the playoffs, then it'll just be a real damp squib end to the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Aaron, thanks very much for coming on today, mate. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Cheers, thank you. And also, Andrew, appreciate you coming on.
Cheers, Sam. Thanks for the watch along. I think watching along and commenting with you and Tom was more fun than the game. So thanks for that.
Yeah, you're not the first person to have said that. Cheers, Andrew. And Daniel, appreciate you coming on.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go for it, of course.
Please don't be negative because that's just gonna make us lose in the playoffs. Everyone should be positive because I'm not ready to see in Twitter. Now we're gonna buttle it in the playoffs, and then one of the players see that, and then it's just gonna make it way worse. Like, I want to go up, and I'm very nervous. So please, no negative things about us losing or us whatever.
What you need to be doing, mate, is putting Tom Jordan's notifications on because you'll get no negativity from him, I've got to say. And he'll always look to, put a positive spin on things. And look, if we were talking about the fact that 3 weeks ago we're worried because we're winning so many matches in a row, and at some point that chain has got to break. We've now lost 3 games in a row. At some point that chain's got to break, right? So maybe, just maybe, Daniel, come on, let's be positive. I admire what you're saying, Daniel. Appreciate it, mate.
Thank you guys for the watch along. Bye.
Yeah, cheers. Thank you for coming on. Really appreciate it. He takes himself off screen. I love that. He's in control. As is Keefy T. Hello, mate.
Hello, Captain.
We got Morgan here as well. Fingers crossed this will mean his audio's okay, Morgan. All good?
Are we back intact?
We can hear you. We can hear you. And before we bring in James and John as a duo, we'll bring in Robert from AFCB Latvia as well, who's here. He's got a smile on his face somehow. But Keefy T, let's turn to you first, mate. Firstly, how are you?
Yeah, very good, Sam. Very good.
But not upbeat, though, no?
I'm neither upbeat or downbeat, or I've been like that or since we've been confirmed for the playoffs. You've got to just take each game as it comes. No need to bed wet at the moment. It's going to be a cup competition, and if we're good enough, we should be able to beat any of these teams. If we were good enough, we should have actually been in the automatic promotions, but we're not. So we are where we are. The table doesn't lie, and now we've got Brentford to play. And Brentford are I think they feel as though they're not going to bottle it. I think there's a real momentum with them and the way they play. And just think, they sold their 2 best players last season, Ollie Watkins and Said Benrahma, and they don't panic. They just recruit nicely, get the right players in, and they go again. They've got a stadium, a training ground, and never had a parachute payment. What are they doing right that we should be looking at? That's the question I like to ask. Morgan,
myself and Tom on the watch along, which you were watching, were saying in this playoffs and the way that it pans out, there are so many different psychological mind games that go on. Now, let's spin it around, right? Brentford beat Watford, really good result today. They're going to be full of positivity, but the burden, there's a weight on their minds that they keep on bottling playoffs. They keep on bottling it. They're playing a team that's awful at the moment. Well, we're pretty bad. And we came 6th, the lowest place that we can finish. This could now put more pressure on them to try to get a result and then cause them to have a poor game against us. I don't know. I'm trying to spin it around because there are so many different ways that you can look at this. How do you think that they will be, looking at us at the moment? Will they be full of confidence, or does this just add to the pressure, knowing the fact that we're playing a team that are pretty poor at the moment?
So they're going to analyse and watch back our last couple of games, I imagine, over the 9-day period before the first leg. But I think that there's a lot more pressure on them now, that they have to remember that they obviously slip off in playoffs quite often, and they might come in with it against AFC Bournemouth with a cocky attitude. Now, what I want to say is that we see the AFC Bournemouth that we won for the last 7 on that 7-game winning run, then they got a problem, a massive problem, because we turned games around. We did very, very well. We played some of the best football I can remember in quite a while, probably since the 2014-15 campaign in the Championship. Or they could see the AFC Bournemouth that has shown up for the first part of the season and then the last few weeks and think, oh, we can walk over them easy. So I think I don't want to concentrate too much on the opposition. I want to concentrate what AFC Bournemouth we're going to see. If we're going to see 11 men fighting to go back to the Premiership, then that's excellent. But if they're going to turn up and play like they have for the last couple of weeks, then we have got a problem on our hands. And I think it's as simple as that. You've got fight and determination, or you got people just turning up to play football and just not putting much energy and passion into it. It's as simple as that, to be honest.
But Walker, wouldn't you agree that what has been a feature of the last 3 seasons is the lack of mental resolve to go on and take games by storm, and that fight and determination? We see it in patches. Mr. Brooks today, I mean, shocking. And there's these players, I feel as though they think they're entitled to go and play in the top league because they can get a move away. And that's been something we haven't addressed all season, and we didn't address it last season. So, we could talk about Brentford bottling in it, but for them, it's go again. They'll go again next season. They feel as though they're Premiership ready. Are we really Premiership ready?
Can I come back in? Is that okay?
Yeah, of course. I'm inviting you to reply.
Thank you. I think that's a really interesting point, to be honest with you, Keithy. And I think what we got to, I'm not knocking it. AFC Bournemouth haven't, compared to the 14-15 when we did go back up, we deserve to go back up. If we go back up this season, I don't think it's thoroughly more deserved than the last time we went back up. However, we have 180 minutes and a cup. 3 massive cup finals. They're semi-finals, but they're cup finals. We have a knockout tournament, if you want to put it into that format, to go back to the Premier League. And whoever does the best in that tournament will go back up to the Premier League. It's as simple as that. So I think you can forget all the nitty-gritty statistics, whatever. It's a tournament, and in football, anything can happen. It's now a knockout competition. You do well over 2 legs, you go to the final. You put in a good performance at the final, and you've got to be on the A game, and you win, and you go back to the Premier League, the third team. If you don't, you spend another season through the long Championship campaign again and try again. I think what we have to try and remember, although some of our players might make moves regardless of where we end up next season, I think this is our best shot of doing it within the next couple of seasons, because it's going to be a long recruit and to get more players back in, and also with the board and all the directors, and I don't want to talk about that, and the debt and stuff. I think if we want our training ground and all that, I think we have to go back up.
Yeah, absolutely agreed. Robert's here from AFCB Latvia, and in his name tag there, he's got Prem equals R9 cut.
Yes.
You serious? Are you gonna have that done?
100%. If we get in a Prem, 100% you will see something like this. So I mean, I hope we are gonna win the playoffs, but I mean, I don't know, like playing. I don't know. Like I was expecting like 3-1, 3-0 demolishing. I was hoping for a win. Actually, we lost because I saw the team sheet. I was with my friend, and I was showing him the team. Yeah, he's a Bournemouth fan as well. I was just showing him, and he was like, "Wow, we're gonna win." Well, that's 100% a win. That wasn't a win. We lost, and like I said in the last podcast, that we are like trying to win more games now because we lost over 3 games in a row. It was the same when we started to win 7 games. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not really trying to be negative because, like Daniel said, like we cannot be negative right now. Let's just be happy now. Let's just enjoy this time because playoffs will be hard. Watching those games, you're gonna bite your nails, and you just have to try. You have to try. Let's just hope we are gonna get in that playoff final. Let's just beat, I don't know, someone, and let's just enjoy our football. Let's say if we are gonna stay in a championship next year. I mean, it's not really that bad, because we will have what teams like Swansea or I don't know, someone. I mean, I don't know. Let's just hope win will help us in the next game, 100%. Because we all know Brentford are big bottlers. Like they bottle like every huge final or semi-final. They are like pretty bad. I mean, I'm not really saying that Bournemouth are good. Right now we are playing awful, and we haven't scored in 3 games, and it's a really bad result from us. We haven't scored in like 270 minutes. I mean, that's not good. That's not good. It's not good enough in a Prem. But I mean, we are 100% gonna win Chelsea. I mean, if you're gonna get in the Prem,
Yeah.
but like I mean, we are probably gonna get like 6 points. Like if you're gonna go in a Premier League, 3 points from Chelsea in the first game and in a second game. Let's just hope. Yeah, I'm saying facts. Let's just hope let's just enjoy right now these 10 or I don't know, like 9 games. Then we are gonna talk. I really hope you're gonna do like watch-alongs in a playoff times, because
well, I mean, I don't know. We want to enjoy it as well, so we'll come to that decision. I'm certain. But you know what, Keith, when we play Brentford, that they don't need to react to anything. They just need to keep on doing what they're doing. But we need to show a reaction. And it could work in our favour that we need to show a reaction. And we started in the home match. We started hard and fast against them. Junior Stanislas had that chance, should have scored it, didn't, completely scuffed it. It could have been a completely different game. We bossed the first half an hour at the Brentford Community Stadium. We can do it. And at that point in time, when we played Brentford in the first match at their place, we weren't actually playing that good. Our form was very topsy-turvy. So, if all the stars are, like if they do align, we have this in our own destiny, and it's up to us to prove it. And if we don't, we've only got ourselves to blame.
Yeah, and I think it's a very dangerous mindset to keep talking about Brentford and other bottlers. We've got to forget about all that. Every game now is, as Morgan and the other young lad have said, is a final. And we as a club have got to come together. And I think Daniel was absolutely right. I'll be avoiding social media at all costs for the next 9 days, because we're going to have the armchair managers out there and this, that and the other. We've got to just go in there, and if the players are on it, if they really want to put themselves in for the transfer window in the summer or whatever, Arnie wants to play for Holland, etc., they've got to put it out there on the line. Forget They have a different attitude about the club, and they have careers to think about. This is their opportunity, but we can't fall into the trap. We're dismissing also Swansea and Barnsley as well, and they're going to be feeling right. We want to get this. We're all in it together. We've got to just be calm, take each game as it comes. Let's have a bit of perspective. I had moments of excitement, but generally speaking, it's each game as it comes. And then we can do the inquisition afterwards and find out what we did right, what we did wrong, and what have you. But it's a blank slate now. And that's how we've got to approach it, I think.
Yeah, Morgan, closing comments before we switch it up?
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of re-echo that a little bit, and also I just think that we have to, as Keith said, leave nothing on that football field and not to analyse the game too much. And also, I think we just have to come out and perform for the AFC Bournemouth shirt, and just leave nothing behind. And fight, determination. I want to see people blocking the ball on the line. I want to see gritty tackle. I want to see fight and determination, like how Yarton used to with his sliding tackle, although try not to get sent off, lad. But I just want to see it. I want to see passion. I want to see people pumped up. I want to see people in the focus mindset, not getting carried away, not being arrogant, not being cocky, and leave nothing behind. It's as simple that you can't do the basic 5-yard pass and then you can't shoot on goal, you don't win a football match. It's simple. And I just want to say a few thank yous, if I may, Sam. Thanks to yourself in the back of the net team for what you've done this season. It's been remarkable, especially through this tough period. Thanks to Steve Butler for his work with Uganda, and also Simon Kay for his work with talking Cherry. It was nice to go on one of their calls for the last couple of weeks. So thanks to all of them. But a massive thank you to you and the back of the net team, Tej, Tom, Keith, not Keith, sorry, and Jeff and Mr. Tim.
You can thank me if you want. You can thank me if you want, Morgan.
And also, I almost broke my mug on the way up to the studio. So, but I just managed to keep it intact. So, and I'm going to purchase a new one in the morning. So, thanks very much indeed.
Cheers, Morgan. Thanks very much. I'm glad to know someone's got a studio. I ain't got one. Robert, thanks very much for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it.
Let's just bring, the smile on the player's face. Let's just hope those players, Philip Billing, all those players will be happy. And let's just be positive right now. Let's not be sad. Let's just laugh and just be happy. Let's not let players down. We have to, be happy. Okay, thank you, lads.
Cheers, mate. Thanks very much. And Keefy T, cheers for coming on, mate.
Thank you very much, Sam. Looking forward to my mug now.
Good man, top buddy, top man. Steve Hensman, thanks for the super chat, mate. Much like the team. Can't find the energy. Save that till tomorrow night, mate. Football, come on, you can. Quick chat with James Reed, actually, quickly, before we switch it up by bringing in some more. James,
hello.
How are you, mate? You all right?
Yeah.
That wasn't a very good performance, but you're still positive?
Yeah.
Are we going to beat Brentford over 2 legs? It's going to be difficult.
Yeah.
He said we will. All right, mate. Well, what I want is a score prediction from you. I know you like to type in your score predictions against Brentford. Give me the aggregate score. So I'm talking overall. I know we're playing them at home first and then away. I want the final score, and it better be a Bournemouth win. Otherwise, you know. Let's see. Here we go. Oh, my God. Nervous even thinking about it. Right, we got our private chat going on at the moment. James says, good to see your big smile. 3-1. 3-1, we're going to win away. Or is that the total score? 3-1?
Yeah.
James, I love you, man. Legend. All right, I'll take that. 3-1. So then that means we're going to play either, Swansea or Barnsley at Wembley.
Yeah.
You think Barnsley? And if we play Barnsley, will we beat them?
Yeah.
Back to the Premier League. Mate, love it. Absolutely love it. James, thanks for coming on, sir. Love that shirt as well. Cheers, James. What a lad. What a lad. You got John Spark here. All right, John, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad, Sam. Thanks for asking.
You were.
It's been a bit. It's been a bit. Oh.
Go on. Yeah, sorry, there's a little bit of a delay by this. After Swansea, Swansea. I think it's Swansea. After the last match against Wickham, you were okay and you were relatively happy. Is that the same after today?
No. No. Yeah, it's like I don't want to keep it because a lot of people are trying to bring some positivity in, and I just can't. I can't find it at the moment, unfortunately, in the black pit of my stomach that is currently I'm dwelling in after that performance. Because the thing is, against Wickham, I felt as though there were a few things that you could dwell some positivity on, and after that game, apart from Carter Vickers, I've got nothing to hang my hat on after that. And unfortunately, not just the team, but also the management, the manager's decisions on substitutions as well baffled me. In a couple of them at least. It's like the thing is that at least what I hope that Woodgate will look at is that after chewing them out is hopefully saying, look, it's the important stuff now. It matters. This is when the important stuff now matters. That game didn't really matter in the grand scheme of things because we were going to play someone in the playoffs at the end of the day. So, what I would like him to do is just take a picture of that and just point out to the players just the lack of effort that was there, particularly, the movement up front, the slow passing, the slow movement of the ball from side to side. The positivest thing, I suppose, is that none of the teams we play are going to be like Stoke, apart from maybe Barnsley. Brentford aren't going to perform like that at all. That's not how Brentford play. And Stoke were incredibly well organised. They're incredibly combative. They were incredibly combative. We weren't that combative. But they showed desire and heart, and they really looked like they wanted to end their season on a positive note. Whereas it looked like to us, it was just like, well, it's a training match, so at least let's get some minutes in the legs. because the likes of if Lloyd Kelly plays like that against Brentford, I don't want him playing, to be honest. After that performance, so there's Brooks is another one. You've got to look at. I think the tone was kind of set with Steve Cook just getting that yellow card for no reason after 3.5 minutes. I think the Stoke players went, hang on, we could definitely get at them. So we weren't really looking like we're up for it. There's so many things to change, so many things that can be improved, that it's almost like you need to completely discount that game again. But the thing is, I said that last week, and that's like saying there's 4 weeks between two games. If you completely ignore Wickham and Stoke, it's difficult to find a lot of positivity after that. And really, I've just got to go in as nervous as I would have been when the Brentford game starts in a week and a half.
Yeah. Oh man, it's squeaky bum time. We've got James here.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm not bad. How are you?
Yeah, very good.
Just going to change that. There we go. Change that. It's lovely.
That's a beautiful shirt. Oh mate, I love that shirt.
This is the shirt we got relegated in, but it's also the shirt that Defoe scored 10 in a row in. So,
well, that's all right. Then we got Simon K here as well at AFCB. Dad, Simon, you all right?
Yeah. We made the playoffs. We got in the Championship playoffs. But yeah, that was a crap performance.
Yeah. Oh, you give with one hand and you take with another. We got Kirk here as well. Kirk, how are you, mate?
Well, the only positive is I got my way. I got Brentford in the semis.
You did.
Yeah. All right. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, Kirk, you can lead the way with the line of questioning. So I will let you discuss all events with Simon, John, and James. But Kirk, firstly, tell me how you're feeling, mate.
Well, I would have played it the other way around, said that 3 weeks ago. I'd have gone strong against Wickham, put them to bed, get back to scoring after losing to Brentford, then rest some players today. But because he didn't do that, he then had to go strong today. And everyone was happy with that. Yeah, that's the team we're pretty much going to see come May the 17th. But what have we got out of it? Probably not a lot. But obviously, we got bigger fish to fry, and maybe that's what we were looking at. But James, looking at that lineups when it was dropped, was there any fear that players would play within themselves or be a little bit scared to play with those semi-finals on the horizon?
I've got no idea, Kirk. I didn't watch it. Ignorance is bliss. This is what I say to John. Don't put yourself through it. We qualified for the playoffs 3 games ago. It didn't matter. I watched the Derby match instead because there was something on that. That Derby-Sheffield Wednesday match was amazing. I'll tell you something. Stoke haven't won in 6 until they played us.
Nope.
Which was we talk about Stoke are well organised and they're really difficult to beat. They haven't won in 6. Wickham at the bottom of the league and we lost to them. This is ghosts of Bournemouth teams past. But I'm interested to see what happens now because this Bournemouth team, when we were winning 4-5-1, when we didn't change it and when we scored first, looked very, very strong. The weaknesses have come when we have to change it, particularly with substitutions and with formation changes. I think the red card changed the game against Norwich while their fans were celebrating in the car park with some fireworks. That's the reason why we won that match. The red card didn't really affect it against Brentford. It made them stronger. We couldn't beat a 10-man Brentford. We've had no goals in 3, a complete lack of goal options outside of Billing and Danjuma, unless we're on that roll of scoring 2 or 3 goals in a game. Then we start playing a little bit more flamboyantly like we did away at Millwall, if I remember. But we have a chance, in a positive manner, we have a chance to draw a line under it now. It's Premier League referees now, which our players are kind of used to playing against. Players like Rico play well with Premier League referees. Players like Smith play well with Premier League referees. And we have a different mindset as well because we've been there. We've got to the promised land. Brentford haven't. Okay. And mind games at this stage are big things. I think it's impossible to analyse our last few games as well for any teams playing us because God knows how you analyse the last 3 games in terms of the formations and the choice of players and the tactics and the way that we've played. But this is important because as fun as the Championship is, and as fun as all of that is, Fulham are coming down and they're a yo-yo club. West Brom are coming down, they're a yo-yo club. JT's Sheffield United are coming down, and God knows how many he's going to play at the back against us. And potentially Pompey and Sunderland are coming up from the other league with a very, very strong Hull side. If we go up, it's this year.
But Simon, that is 3 games without a goal now, and we're coming up against a team who scored 3, I think, today, and have a player that's obviously notched more than 30 goals. How are you feeling going into those playoffs?
I don't know how I follow James's summary there. I've always got nothing else left to say. I mean, I do believe in a clean slate, but I do worry that momentum and those kind of things are important going into these games. Today, it just felt like the players were not only not there in their head, but whether they were told not to put everything in, I don't know. I just don't like that. I like, if you're going to play and you're going to put them out, just go for it. Have a game and give it everything you've got. I think we will have a chance in the playoffs. I'm not as positive as I was. My concern is that if you block Danjuma out of the game by pretty much putting 2 players on him, our alternative fluidity in attack seems to be substantially limited. The flow is really blocked. And that's what's the worrying thing, is that. So the other thing that worries me is whether Woodgate, and I used to moan a bit about Eddie and option 2, what's your plan B? Or what do you do when things aren't going right? I look at this setup and this structure and I have the same kind of concerns at the minute, that maybe the management team don't actually know what plan B is and how they put that together to make it work when certain players are blocked out of the game. When we played really well recently and through our run, we had a flow, and you could see that flow working. And that was because the teams we were playing against defensively weren't perhaps intelligent enough defensively, or didn't have the management on their side to work out how to stop us playing. So that's the concern going forward. But positively, as I say, we've made the Championship playoffs. We're a Championship team. We've got a chance to go to the Premier League. So I'm happy to draw a line, and whoever we play, we just got to turn up. But those worries, are there and have been for a short period of time.
But John, how does this play for someone like Brooksy, who clearly worries about getting injured with the injuries he's had a really poor game today, because I think he probably was fearful of getting a knock or turning his ankle. He's had a bad game today. He's going into the playoffs now. We know he's a confidence player. We know on his day he's one of the best players in the league. But is it sometimes 1 in 4, 1 in 5?
Well, I mean, that Brooksy doesn't deserve to be in the team. I mean, on the way he performed in that game, and certainly he wasn't that great against Wickham either. He obviously produced well against Millwall, but then that was a more complete team performance. I think I don't see that he's playing in a way that tries to prevent himself from getting injured, because he, in a similar way to Jack Wilshere, he often plays the ball last second. But it's the way that he's playing at the moment is, I think I saw someone post on Twitter, I can't remember who it was, where the way Danjuma can now go either side. With Brooks, he pretty much guaranteed he's only ever going to come onto his left foot. So it's quite easy to defend against him the way he's playing at the moment. I think he really suffers from the fact that Smith did absolutely zero to support him going forward, as far as I saw in the match, with no overlapping runs, nothing to provide an option on the outside. He didn't play the balls inside in the way he should have done, because Billing was often making himself available and he tried to pass to a Mark Solanke. Danjuma was blocked out of the game, which is, yes, fair enough. He wasn't helped because Kelly wasn't looking up to play passes in field. He would only play it down to Danjuma when he had someone up his backside. And then he himself wasn't on the end of long balls over the top. We weren't playing those enough. We just weren't shifting the game up. The amount of time we held possession in our own half with 4 defenders, it's just, you're not going to get anything out of the game. We had 74% possession. How much territory of that was in the Stoke third? Like 5% of it? It's just, the whole way you score goals is by either taking the ball past someone or passing the ball to someone who's beyond the defense. And if you don't do either of those two things, you're not going to score. So the very basics of the attacking form of our game just weren't there. And the thing that surprises me, because a lot of people were saying it's been 3 weeks since we played this team. And yes, we did. But against Brentford, we only changed Wilshere for Pearson, and Pearson alone didn't have a very good game today either. Yeah. It's that these players are used to playing with each other. I disagree completely with people that say, but the team's been changed for 2-3 weeks. They obviously they're not perform. No, this is the same set of players that were performing for 5 weeks in a row, getting 7 wins in a row. This isn't the same. This isn't like Norwich, who can change 3 or 4 players and their system is well and truly set for 4 years and they know everything that's going to happen because of the system. These are players that know how to play with these players. And yet they just weren't performing. They weren't putting in the effort. They weren't doing the things that you want them to do and that you expect them to do as professional footballers. And that's what frustrates me about that game, is that the effort didn't look like it was there. And the pattern of play that they've been doing for the last 2 months wasn't there at all. And if that maintains into the next 2 games, it might be over before the second leg even starts. So I need to see a hell of a lot different in the first game to give us a chance going into the second leg. We can beat Brentford. There's no doubt we can beat Brentford. Of course we can. But it's just whether we turn up and deliver, which we haven't done today.
And when we're looking for players to turn up and try to deliver, one of the players that we were all pinning our hopes on, Simon, was a certain David Brooks. He's rated £40 million. He can tear it apart. In every interview we've done with anyone like Frano and that ilk of players that's played with him for quite a while, they always say that he's the most talented player that they've ever seen, like naturally gifted. Yet I'm not seeing that.
For me, every footballer, no matter what position they play in, confidence is huge. And when a player starts to get their confidence back after having a topsy-turvy season, and Brooks has had that, he's been in, he's been out, he's had an injury, it's taken time to get back and all the rest of it. I believe that he should have been kept in the team for pretty much every game. Millwall away and some of those latter performances in the run when we were winning games, you could see his confidence really growing in some of the, play with the other players. I also believe that if you've got something that's working in a part of the field where you've got confidence players, you've got to keep playing them because they're starting to understand each other. They're starting to understand their movement. So Brooks, for me, is a player who's a confidence player. He needs runs in the game, but he also needs fluidity and movement around him to enable him to be the best he possibly can. So he's not been his best, but I can't pin that just on him. I would say that in the recent games, I would question management decisions of resting that whole fluidity at the front. They should have maintained some of it because patterns are important in game flow. So that's my view.
Kirk, so Brentford it is. And, you were an advocate of playing them over two legs. Explain why, because there was a question asking you just that earlier on the chat. Why do you think we'd have more chance over 180 minutes rather than 90?
Because of today. So basically, I have this fear that we've got this performance in us. We've seen it more than once, twice, three times this season. On our day, we're the best team in the league. Not on our day, we're one of the worst because we've lost to teams like Wycombe. We've lost to teams like Luton, or we haven't played well against teams like Luton and Derby, and they're all down the bottom. We've lost to Sheffield Wednesday. They're in the bottom three. So I want to give us 180 minutes to have a go at them rather than one game at Wembley. And I know it sounds stupid, it's hypothetical and it's a ridiculous thing to say, but if we're not going to go up, who wants to lose in the final? Because I'd rather lose in the semi. I know it's a stupid thing to say because no one really knows. Yeah. But, if it's going to be losing to Brentford at Wembley, no thanks. I said, I don't mind the Championship. I love the I know James is laughing because James is like, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. But, at the end of the day, I love the Championship, but we know we need the Premier League. We discussed this last week. I think it's been refreshing. No VAR. A question: we might have fans. Could that help us?
Yeah. I certainly think it would. It'd be nice to see fans in Dean Court again, James. But look, we can't have any complaints if we get ditched out the semis, can we? We can't. And to be fair, it would mirror our campaign, just really inconsistent throughout.
Kirk loves an omen. I don't think we've ever won at Wembley. Properly at Wembley. We haven't won in the Auto Windscreen Shield final. Do you remember that? And I think we lost twice to Spurs when they were playing at Wembley, weren't they, as well? Yeah. We want to avoid Wembley at all costs. The way Kirk said it as well, it's quite funny. I don't want to lose to Brentford at Wembley. Well, which team do you want to lose to at Wembley to? Would you rather lose to Swansea or Barnsley? Which one?
If we don't go up, I'd like to see Barnsley do it because I think that they deserve it. Nearly getting relegated the year before, and then no one would have predicted them in the playoffs. So if it's not us, I'd like to see Barnsley do it. But
maybe we need to swap the locations of the Champions League final, bring that to Wembley, and we can go to Istanbul. Might have a better chance.
That was the other point as well. That lad you had on earlier who said that if we go to Premier League, he's getting the R9 haircut. We could win the Champions League, mate, and I ain't getting that haircut. Brave lad. The thing is, I think this team, we had a must-win situation about 10 games ago, where we knew we had to win so many out of the remaining 10 games to get into the playoffs, and we did it really early. Okay. within that, around that time, we had a must-win game against Watford. Do you remember, at home, where it was like one of those old Premier League games from last season? Do you remember a year ago when we played in the Premier League? And we had a real steely determination and professionalism about us in that game that got us to a victory. Didn't play our best, but we had a professionalism about us. There's a thing in the playoffs about professionalism at this point, and I think the fact that we've been there before. And mind games at this level of football is a huge thing. I've just watched a documentary on looking at mind strategy within football. It's a big thing. And I think our players got one of the best chances out of the 4 teams, certainly.
Just bring up something, Sam. Just to bring up something there with regards to today again, is what I want to see us do against Brentford is not try and just dominate possession. We had 719 passes today, right? And we lost the game 2-0. In the games that we've done well this season, we've made that transition from back to front a lot quicker with less passes. And we've got those players up there when we do that, with Begovic getting it up quick to Danjuma, Stanislas and Solanke. Let's go to Brentford and let's try and go from back to front a lot quicker, and let's try and hurt them. Every time we try and dominate the ball and try and open up these intricate moments, it doesn't happen. The amount of games we've lost dominating possession with 60%, 75% possession today, I want to bin that off for the next 3 games if we have 3 games.
Brilliant. Kirk, thanks very much for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it.
No worries. Thank you, guys.
Cheers, buddy. And before we let you go, James, what was that documentary James asked on chat? Because he says it sounds interesting.
I got it from the Quickly Kevin podcast, and it was a documentary from back in the late 80s about Queen's Park Rangers. So it's got like Les Ferdinand and Paul Parker and Martin Allen in it, and all these old players that half the people on this chat probably never heard of. But yeah, it was a really interesting, and that sports psychologist went on to be a sports psychologist for Chris Boardman, who won Britain's cyclist's first gold medal at the 1992 Barcelona Olympics. So search it out on YouTube.
Amazing. James, thanks very much for coming on.
Before I go, Sam, this is probably going to be my last one on here because of work commitments and family commitments and all this sort of stuff. Thank you so much for you and the team for providing this platform for Bournemouth fans throughout a pandemic. I know it's given so many people something to really look forward to every week, and an engagement level with the club as well that sort of allows fans to have their say in a very, very positive forum. You do an excellent job. Well done, mate.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, James. Cheers. Thank you. John, thanks very much for coming on. Hopefully next time I'm going to be seeing you, we're going to be all smiles after beating them 2-0 at the Vitality, 3-0, whatever. 4, who knows?
Yeah, that would be lovely. And I echo what everyone else has said so far about thanking you for having this platform. And I mean, I was following you guys when you were a podcast 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Sort of dropped off, and then wasn't really paying attention quite so much, and then found you guys again like 7 or 8 months ago as a YouTube channel. And, about 5 years or however long I've been able to watch them on the telly, I've just been shouting at a wall about how badly or how well we've done, and just been so sort of like, wanting to say something, and now having a forum to have open and honest discussion with other members of the community has been so enjoyable and so much more fun of an experience as a whole match day experience. So thank you very much for that, Sam.
Cheers, John. Thanks very much. Appreciate that. Thank you. That's John Spark there. And you know what it's done over the last year? It's created a number of different YouTube channels as well. Kirk's doing this kind of thing with Cherries Red Army, like AFCB. John's doing his thing. And there's been something. Simon, I don't know if you heard of it. It's this thing called Talking Cherries as well. I know anything about it.
Yeah, it's around. We just chat. We chat football. We check in on everyone's doing, and we can't wait to get together and do it with beer in hand.
Oh man, bliss!
Wouldn't that be lovely? Anyway, I'm not going to regurgitate what they've just said. They've said it all, so you don't need any more of that because it's been amazing. But what I want to finish with, before you get other people, unless you've got a question, is we're in the fucking playoffs.
we are now.
Come on.
Now, on the watch along earlier, I'm not sure if you saw it, but Tony Funnell was on with Tiggs at half time, and he revealed that we're going to be doing another charity fundraiser this year, and we've raised the stakes. Simon, you are obviously playing golf with Harry Redknapp last time. This year, Harry Redknapp, Tony Pulis, Matt Letizia, and Graham Souness.
Wow!
And there'll be 4 winners. I think that's and you're going to pair off and then have lunch and all that kind of stuff. So maybe
that's amazing.
Maybe if you manage to be lucky again, you could be teeing off with those guys.
I have to say though, my bandit golf rotor is kind of out. I played the other week and it's just gone out the window. So who knows? But I'll definitely put some money in to have a chance.
Yeah, we'll get that sorted ASAP. Simon, thanks very much, mate. Cheers, buddy. Thank you very much. Filippo's here, the Italian. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, me. Yeah, it's me. Yes, me. I completely shame my head, and we are.
Wow.
Yeah, true ball people.
Loving it. You look sexy.
Thanks,
got to say, mate. Amazing. Liam's here as well.
Hello.
Liam, you all right, mate? How are you, buddy?
Right, that wasn't good, was it?
No, it wasn't. We're going to be finishing. We'll probably finish off with these two. So we will not be having any more on this chat now because we're coming up to an hour. But people are loving the fact that you are all here. By the way, some people commented on this, the brand new
nice
mug V2. Huge logo. We're talking big. If you want one, the link's at the bottom of the screen.
Bigger, the logo?
It's bigger, yeah. It's bigger.
Cool.
And it's if you want one, they're on chat. You can AFCBpodcast.com/mug and we'll get them out to you ASAP. Right, Filippo. We're in the playoffs. Brilliant. We're playing Brentford. Not so brilliant.
Not so brilliant. Yeah. And analyzing want to analyze the situation more than the game itself, because the game has been like the previous two against Brentford and Wycombe. In fact, I didn't join against Wycombe and only talked to Morgan and told him that that was the reason we couldn't fight for direct promotion, because we dropped too much points with bottom of the table, with teams which are in the bottom of the table. And today was poor as well. And when you have the chance to avoid playing a team which have beaten you in both games in the league, and you play like that, we needed only a win to go fourth in the table and play Swansea and have the second leg at home, and we didn't, and we have a very difficult tie. We have a very difficult tie.
Yeah, we definitely have. Liam,
we needed momentum.
Yeah.
And we are going with a bad form and no goals scored on 3 games. We were the best attack in the league at a certain point, maybe after the Millwall game.
Yeah, agree. I mean, Liam, are you sort of now in a weird, perverse sort of way, I'm almost happier that we're going into it as underdogs, not expecting anything. I hate it when we're like overconfident and then we feel real disappointment. Now I'm almost expecting the disappointment, so anything more is just a bonus. So in order to mentally handle it better, I'm almost pleased.
Yeah,
it's this way round. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Why play possession football when you need goals? Create chances. We need to shoot more, I think.
Well, Brentford today had the same amount of not Brentford. Brentford. Yeah, Brentford had the same amount of possession as us. Yet they had 15 shots, 5 of which were on target. We only had 1 shot on target, which is absolutely worrying. But you know what? If whoever wins that match, though, surely has got to be favourites to win the whole thing. You think?
Yeah, I think we need to go 2 up front. Really.
Interesting, yeah.
Sturridge on and Slanky on. Just attack them.
Yeah.
We've got nothing to lose.
No, we haven't got anything to lose. I'll put you on the spot now, Liam. Who is going to win the playoffs?
Could be Brentford, I think, unfortunately.
Oh, mate, I'm going to fetch the violins, but you'll probably, I mean, look, we're just looking at form, but, that chain of 3 losses has has got to be broken. Maybe that can happen. We're just running out of time at the moment, Liam. Liam, thank you so much for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it. You're
Up
an
the
absolute
Cherries.
up the Cherries. Cheers, mate. And just Felipe, before you go, someone's just said, what do you think about Jose going to Roma?
Oh yeah, that was a wonderful news. I was having lunch, and then the Sky Sports Italy announced that the AS Roma appointed Jose Mourinho. It's a very good choice to bring some happiness and exciting to the Roma, to the whole Roma ambient, which in the last days was quite poor because of the results. Roma completely gave up Serie A, and now sits seventh. They gave up Serie A to concentrate on the Man United game, the semi-final against Man United, and then we lost 6-2, and we got eliminated. But now that maybe that was the right time to change the manager. But Paulo Fonseca will be still on Roma's bench until the end of the season. Jose Mourinho is gonna start training on the next season, and I think they are right as well on this choice, because was not before a semi-final. I know we started from 6-2, but before a second leg semi-final, I don't think that was the time to change suddenly the manager. So that was the right choice.
Felipe, thanks for coming on today, mate.
Yeah, thanks, Sam. At the Cherries, and also I think that we are lucky that we have this mini break of 9 days between the playoffs. So Jonathan Woodgate is gonna have a lot of work to do in some departments, but trying to regroup the team is the most important thing.
Yeah, agreed. Thanks very much for coming on, Felipe. Really, really do appreciate it. Take a look at this bad boy. Goal along with the Cherries. This is weighty. And if you're watching the watch along, you'd have known that I was just showing you like through this book. It's like 244 pages. It's like kind of like Shoot magazine. Love it. It's got so much content, all about the promotion season of 1970-71, which was our first promotion season 50 years ago. It'd be poignant if we managed to do it again. It'd be a nice symmetry, wouldn't it? Half a century apart. But this is a book that's been penned by Neil Vacher. Spoke to him earlier in the week on this channel with regards to the under-21s win in the Hampshire Cup. A great win for the under-21s, especially after the Central Cup win as well. Tomorrow we're going to be chatting to him and also Keith Miller, star of that campaign. And if you want to win a copy of this book, all you got to do is like a tweet right now. There's the link at the bottom of the screen. Just go to afcbpodcast.com/book and just like the tweet. That's all you need to do. It will take you to Twitter. Just like it, and then we'll announce the winner ASAP. But it's a fantastic book. I got it from the club shop, and it's a good piece to have. Thanks to everyone that's joined us. We now know who we're going to play. We wanted Swansea. We'd have taken Barnsley. We got Brentford over 2 legs. Can we do it? All will be revealed. On this channel, there's going to be a hell of a lot of content coming up to preview that. And on Kirk's channel as well, Cherries Red Army, check that out, because the match review is going to be going on live ever so shortly to cover it off. It's probably not going to be overly positive, as this show's not been, but we got 9 days to regroup. Jonathan Woodgate needs to certainly earn his corn, doesn't he? Thanks for everyone that's taken part. And we will see you tomorrow for more doom and gloom, eh? It'll be fine. We'll all be happy by then.